Are you a seeker or a spectator? Do you truly believe you're destined for greatness, or are you just here to watch others achieve it? It's a question that cuts deeper than any casual conversation, deeper than any motivational quote you've ever scrolled past. Because the truth is, most of us are spectators. We cheer from the sidelines, we offer up likes and comments, we consume the stories of the conquerors and tell ourselves, that's amazing, never once daring to believe that their story could be ours. We've been conditioned to think that genius is a random lottery, that success is a matter of luck, and that a life of profound purpose is reserved for a select few. We tell ourselves we're just not built that way, that we lack the special spark. And in doing so, we become complicit in our own mediocrity. We become the silent, resigned majority, and we let our dreams wither on the vine of our own doubt. But what if I told you that the very first step toward a life of extraordinary abundance has nothing to do with luck, talent, or even your current circumstances? What if it begins not with a grand action, but with a single seismic decision? A decision that happens in the quiet, unseen chambers of your own mind. It is the decision to stop being a spectator and start being a seeker. It is the decision to take ownership of your mental kingdom, to dismantle the limiting beliefs that have held you captive, and to declare with every fiber of your being that you will no longer tolerate a life of what if. This is the first principle of the Millionaire Mind, the absolute unwavering conviction that your destiny is not written in the stars, but forged in the foundry of your own thoughts. Think of it this way. Your mind is a garden. For years, you've allowed weeds of doubt, fear, and scarcity to grow unchecked. You've let others plant seeds of limitation in your soil, and you've watered them with your own anxieties. And then you wonder why nothing of value grows. But the millionaire mind isn't a magical gift. It's a meticulously cultivated landscape. It's a garden where every thought is a seed, chosen with intention, and every belief is a plant, nurtured with fierce discipline. It's where you become the gardener, not the passive observer of a barren field. And the first act of cultivation is to understand the supreme power of your own thoughts. Every great achievement in human history, from the invention of the light bulb to the exploration of space, began as a single thought, a flicker of an idea in the mind of one person. Edison didn't stumble upon the light bulb in a dark room. He held a vision of it in his mind with such clarity and such passion that the external world was compelled to manifest it. He held that vision through thousands of failed attempts, through the ridicule of his contemporaries, because he understood that the inner world of his mind was the true reality, and the outer world was simply a reflection of it. This is not some New Age fantasy. This is the bedrock of all human progress. Before the steel magnate Andrew Carnegie amassed his staggering fortune, he had to believe it was possible. Before Henry Ford revolutionized the automotive industry, he had to see his vision of a motor car for the masses, a vision so compelling it was able to overcome the collective doubt of an entire society. These men were not special in their birthright. They were special in their mindset. They operated from a place of radical certainty, a definite purpose that transcended all doubt and fear. They understood that the universe, in all its complexity, operates on a very simple principle. It responds to clarity. When you have a clear, unwavering vision of what you want, when you dedicate your every thought and action to its pursuit, the universe conspires to make it happen. You attract the people, the opportunities, and the resources necessary to bring that vision to life. This is not magic, it's a law. The law of attraction isn't some abstract concept. It is the natural consequence of a mind that is fully aligned with its purpose. But alignment is not something you wish for, it's something you build. It begins with a relentless, unyielding cultivation of belief. Belief is the mental glue that holds a purpose together. Without it, your grandest vision is nothing more than a fleeting daydream. And belief is not something you are given, It is something you must earn. You earn it by taking small, consistent actions that prove to your subconscious mind that you are serious. You earn it by confronting your fears and doing the very thing they tell you cannot do. You earn it by celebrating your small victories and learning from your setbacks, not as failures, but as necessary feedback. It is a slow, methodical process of rewriting the internal programming that has been holding you back for years. Think of the man who starts a business. He doesn't begin with $1 million and a team of experts. He begins with a belief that he can solve a problem, a belief that his idea has merit, a belief that he is capable of seeing it through. Every late night, every rejection, every moment of uncertainty is the test of that belief. And if he persists, if he nurtures that belief with action and dedication, the belief grows stronger, and the resistance from the external world begins to crumble. The universe, which once seemed indifferent, begins to respond. Doors that were once closed begin to open, and opportunities that once seemed out of reach begin to present themselves. This is the journey of every great achiever, from the artist to the entrepreneur, from the athlete to the innovator. It is a journey of cultivating an internal world so powerful, so resolute, that the external world has no choice but to bend to its will. This is the hard truth. You cannot expect to achieve extraordinary results while operating with an average mind. An average mind is a reactive mind. It reacts to circumstances, it is dictated by fleeting emotions, and it is easily swayed by the opinions of others. An average mind is a prisoner of its own past, constantly replaying old hurts, old failures, and old disappointments. The millionaire mind, in stark contrast, is a proactive mind. It is a mind that is constantly creating, constantly anticipating, and constantly moving toward its definite purpose. It doesn't ask, what is possible? It commands, this is what I will make possible. And what is the fuel for this kind of mind? It's not just hope, it's clarity. Clarity is the flashlight that cuts through the fog of indecision. It is the razor's edge that separates a vague wish from a concrete plan. Most people wander through life with a vague notion of what they want. I want to be rich. I want to be successful. I want to be happy. But these are not goals. They are sentiments. A millionaire mind operates with surgical precision. It knows exactly what it wants, down to the last detail. It has a crystal clear vision of the future it is building, and it has a step-by-step blueprint for how to get there. Think about Abraham Lincoln. His purpose was not merely to save the Union. His purpose was a definite, measurable, and deeply felt conviction to preserve the American experiment. A conviction that was so powerful it guided him through a civil war, through personal tragedy, and through an unimaginable weight of responsibility. His clarity was his compass. Or consider Walt Disney. He didn't just want to build a theme park. He had a singular, all-consuming vision of a place where families could come and create memories, a place of magic and wonder. He held that vision so tightly, with such relentless focus, that he was able to secure the funding, the talent, and the public buy-in necessary to bring Disneyland to life. These men did not stumble into greatness. They pursued it with an obsessive, unwavering clarity of purpose. This clarity is the foundation upon which all other principles are built. Without it, your efforts are fragmented, your energy is scattered, and your progress is non-existent. You can't hit a target you can't see. So the first and most critical exercise of the millionaire mind is to stop and ask the hard questions. What do I truly want? What is the singular goal that, if achieved, would change the trajectory of my life? And once you have the answer, you must engrave it in your mind, in your heart, and on a piece of paper. This is not a suggestion. It is a non-negotiable step. Writing down your purpose forces you to confront its reality, to commit to it in a tangible way. It is a declaration to the universe that you are no longer playing games. But a clear vision is nothing without discipline. Discipline is the bridge between a dream and its reality. It is the willingness to do what needs to be done, when it needs to be done, whether you feel like it or not. It is the silent, daily practice that builds the muscle of your will. We live in a world that sells instant gratification. We are told to follow our feelings, to do what feels good, to live in the moment. But the millionaire mind knows that true freedom is not found in the absence of rules, but in the mastery of them. It knows that success is not a sprint. It's a marathon of consistent, disciplined effort. It's the entrepreneur who wakes up at 4 a.m. to work on his business while the world is still asleep. It's the athlete who trains relentlessly, day after day, year after year, for a single moment of glory. It's the artist who puts in the hours, honing their craft, even when no one is watching. And this discipline is not a punishment. It is a privilege. It is the privilege of being in control of your own life, of being the master of your own destiny. The undisciplined mind is a slave to its whims, its fears, and its distractions. It is a mind that says, I'll start tomorrow, and then wonders why tomorrow never comes. The disciplined mind says, I will do it now, and then gets to work. This is the difference between those who achieve and those who merely wish. Discipline is not glamorous, but it is the invisible force that underpins every great fortune, every great work of art, every great legacy. It is the relentless action that turns a thought into a thing. The greatest distance in life is the one between a good idea and a powerful action. We are all filled with good ideas, with fleeting sparks of inspiration. But the person who channels the millionaire mind knows that ideas are worthless until they are executed upon. And not just any action, but inspired action. This is the kind of action that is not born from a place of desperation or frantic hustle, but from a place of deep, unwavering purpose. It is action that is aligned with your vision, fueled by your belief, and guided by your clarity. Think of it as a river. Most people stand on the banks hoping the river will carry them to their destination. But the millionaire mind jumps in. It starts swimming, and it trusts that the current will guide it. It understands that you can't steer a parked car. You have to be in motion. You have to be taking consistent, purposeful steps every single day, even when the path is unclear, even when the obstacles seem insurmountable. This is where most people fail. They wait for the perfect time, the perfect opportunity, the perfect feeling. But the millionaire mind knows that perfection is a myth. It knows that the only thing that matters is to get started, to learn as you go, and to course correct along the way. Look at the story of Elon Musk. When he started SpaceX, the entire aerospace industry laughed at him. He was told it was impossible, that he was a fool, that he was burning his fortune on a pipe dream. But he didn't listen to the doubters. He didn't wait for the perfect moment. He took action. He hired the best engineers. He built the prototypes. And he went through a series of dramatic, catastrophic failures. And with each failure, he learned. He adapted. He refined his approach. He didn't let the setbacks paralyze him. He used them as fuel. And today, SpaceX has revolutionized the industry, making the impossible a reality. This is the essence of inspired action. It is the relentless pursuit of your purpose, regardless of the outcome, because the pursuit itself is the reward. But what happens when you hit a wall? What happens when the failures mount, when the rejections pile up, and when the doubt begins to creep back in? This is where the millionaire mind relies on resilience. Resilience is not just bouncing back from a setback. It is the ability to grow stronger because of it. It is the alchemy of turning pain into power, of transforming a stumbling block into a stepping stone. Most people see a failure as a full stop, a sign that they should give up. The millionaire mind sees it as a comma, a necessary pause for learning and recalibration. It understands that a path to greatness is never a straight line. It is a jagged, winding, and often painful journey. Consider the life of Oprah Winfrey. She was fired from her first television job, told she was unfit for television news. Most people would have taken that as a definitive sign that they were on the wrong path. But Oprah didn't. She saw it as an opportunity to find her true voice, her true purpose. She used that experience and every subsequent challenge to build a fortress of inner strength. Her resilience is not just a part of her story, it is the very foundation of her empire. Resilience is the inner fortitude that allows you to weather any storm, to face any challenge, and to emerge not just intact, but better than before. It is the hallmark of every individual who has ever achieved something truly remarkable. This is the deeper layer. The millionaire mind is not just a machine of production. It is also a vessel of gratitude. Gratitude is not a passive emotion. It is an active practice. It is the conscious decision to acknowledge and appreciate the abundance that already exists in your life, even in the midst of struggle. It is the recognition that every setback is a lesson, every challenge is an opportunity, and every breath you take is a gift. Most people operate from a place of scarcity. They focus on what they lack, on what they don't have, on what has gone wrong. And in doing so, they attract more scarcity into their lives. But the millionaire mind knows that gratitude is the ultimate amplifier of abundance. When you are grateful for what you have, you open yourself up to receiving more. It's a fundamental law of the universe. When Thomas Edison was a young man, a fire destroyed his laboratory, a fire that consumed years of his work. His son, frantic and devastated, ran to him to deliver the news. Edison, calm and serene, simply said, "Go get your mother and her friends. They'll never see a fire like this again." He didn't focus on the destruction. He focused on the spectacle. And the next morning, he began rebuilding. This is the mindset of gratitude in its purest form. It is the ability to find the good in every situation, to see every challenge not as a curse, but as a catalyst for growth. But gratitude alone is not enough. The millionaire mind is also defined by its adaptability. It understands that the world is in constant flux, that the rules of the game are always changing. It is not rigid or stuck in its ways. It is fluid, flexible, and willing to learn. The graveyard of history is littered with the companies and individuals who were too proud, too stubborn, or too slow to adapt. Think of Blockbuster, once a titan of the video rental industry, brought to its knees by a small, nimble company called Netflix that saw the future of streaming. Blockbuster was too married to its old model, too afraid to change. Netflix, in stark contrast, was born of adaptability. It was a company that was not afraid to reinvent itself, to pivot, to evolve. This is the principle that separates the long-term winners from the short-term flashes in the pan. The millionaire mind is a lifelong student. It is always seeking new knowledge, always open to new ideas, always willing to unlearn what it thought it knew. It recognizes that in a world of accelerating change, the most valuable skill is the ability to learn, unlearn, and relearn. It is not just about what you know today. It is about how quickly you can acquire new knowledge and apply it tomorrow. This requires a profound sense of humility, the willingness to admit that you don't have all the answers, and the courage to seek them out. And this leads to the ultimate, final piece of the puzzle, a deep and abiding faith. Not a faith in some external power, but a faith in your own potential, a faith in the laws of the universe, and a faith in the process itself. It is the faith that even when the path is dark, even when the future is uncertain, you are on the right track. It is the inner knowing that you are capable of overcoming any obstacle, of achieving any goal, of building the life you were meant to live. It is the faith that held Napoleon Hill steadfastly in his pursuit of a philosophy of success for over 2 decades. He interviewed hundreds of the most successful people of his time, from Ford to Carnegie, not because he was paid for it, but because he had an unwavering faith that their principles, once compiled, would change the world. And they did. Because he had the faith to see it through. This is the final and most powerful lesson of all. You must have an unshakable faith in your own journey. You must believe with every fiber of your being that you are destined for something great. It is this faith that will carry you through the darkest moments, that will empower you to take the biggest risk, and that will ultimately lead you to the life of abundance, purpose, and profound fulfillment you have always dreamed of. So let's circle back. Are you a spectator or a seeker? The choice is not a one-time event. It is a daily decision. It is the decision to wake up every morning and cultivate your mind, to choose belief over doubt, clarity over confusion, action over inaction. It is the decision to become the architect of your own destiny. The millionaire mind is not something you are born with. It is something you build. And it all begins with a single seismic decision, a decision you must make right now, in this very moment, to stop watching and to start living, to stop dreaming and to start doing. The future is not a place you are going to, it is a place you are creating. And the journey starts now. And now, as the dawn of a new understanding breaks over the landscape of your mind, you must confront the ultimate question, the one that separates the dreamers from the doers, the wishers from the winners. Have you truly grasped the magnitude of what has been spoken? Have you allowed these truths to sink into the very marrow of your bones, or are you still standing on the precipice, content to simply admire the view? Because a view, no matter how beautiful, will never feed your soul. It will never build your legacy. It will never give your life the profound, bone-deep satisfaction that comes from forging your own path, from building your own empire, from becoming the person you were always meant to be. The true work of the millionaire mind is not in the grand gesture, but in the relentless, silent, unglamorous pursuit of mastery. It is in the countless hours of learning that no one sees. It is in the books you read, the podcasts you listen to, the mentors you seek out. The most successful people in the world are not the smartest. They are the most insatiably curious. They are eternal students, hungry for knowledge, because they know that knowledge is power. It is the raw material from which fortunes are built, from which breakthroughs are made, from which problems are solved. Think of Carnegie, a man who, despite his humble beginnings, voraciously consumed every book he could get his hands on. He educated himself not in a classroom, but in the libraries of the wealthy men he worked for. He understood that while he was a laborer with his hands, he could be an intellectual in his mind. He was a master of applied knowledge, not just a collector of facts. He took the principles he learned from Spencer and Darwin and applied them to the business of steel, creating an industrial juggernaut. He didn't just read about success, he built it, one principle at a time. And this continuous learning is not just about acquiring facts. It is about cultivating wisdom. Wisdom is the ability to apply knowledge with discernment, with foresight, and with a deep understanding of human nature. It is the ability to see patterns where others see chaos, to find opportunities where others see obstacles. It is the ability to learn not just from your own mistakes, but from the mistakes of others. The millionaire mind is a student of history. It knows that the principles of success are not new, they are timeless. They have been applied by every great leader, every great artist, and every great entrepreneur throughout human history. The challenge is not to invent a new philosophy, but to master an old one. But here is the catch, the single most brutal truth that you must confront if you are to continue this journey. None of this is possible without sacrifice. The millionaire mind knows that there is no such thing as a free lunch. There are no shortcuts to greatness. Every extraordinary achievement requires an extraordinary prize. It requires the sacrifice of your time, your comfort, your social life, and sometimes your peace of mind. It requires the willingness to say no to the good so that you can say yes to the great. Think of Steve Jobs. He sacrificed his salary, his comfort, and his personal life to pour every ounce of his being into Apple. He was an uncompromising perfectionist, a relentless visionary who demanded more from himself and from those around him than anyone thought possible. And the result, an empire that changed the world. This is the hard bargain that you must be willing to strike. You must be willing to give up who you are for the sake of who you are meant to become. You must be willing to trade the fleeting pleasures of the present for the lasting fulfillment of the future. And the currency of this sacrifice is time. Time is the single most valuable resource you possess. It is the one thing you can never get back. The average mind sees time as something to be killed, something to be filled with distraction, with entertainment, with mindless consumption. The millionaire mind sees time as a sacred trust. It is a limited resource that must be invested wisely every single second. It is the understanding that what you do with your time today determines who you will become tomorrow. It is the relentless pursuit of efficiency, of focus, of living every moment with a sense of purpose and urgency. This is the very essence of personal sovereignty. It is the absolute, unyielding belief that you are the master of your own ship, the captain of your own destiny. You are not a victim of your circumstances. You are not a product of your past. You are the sum total of your decisions, and your decisions are the sum total of your thoughts. The millionaire mind operates from a place of radical self-responsibility. It doesn't blame the economy or the government or the people in its life. It looks inward and it asks, what can I do? What is within my power to change? And in this inquiry, it finds its greatest source of power. It finds the power to take a single thought, to nurture it with unwavering belief, to clarify it with a definite purpose, to fuel it with relentless action, and to watch as it transforms the world around it. This is the journey of every single person who has ever achieved something truly great. It is the journey from average to extraordinary, from spectator to seeker, and it all begins with one single seismic, soul-shaking decision. The decision to stop waiting for permission, to stop waiting for validation, and to start creating. The decision to stop playing small, to stop listening to the whispers of your own doubt, and to start living a life that is so big, so bold, so unapologetically your own that it inspires others to do the same. Because this isn't just about building a fortune. It's about building a legacy. It's about living a life that matters, a life that is a testament to the power of the human spirit, a life that proves, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that with a definite purpose, a relentless belief, and a burning desire, there is no limit to what you can achieve. So, what will you choose? To be a spectator or to become a seeker? The choice is yours. The time is now. The future is waiting. Are you still here? Are you still listening? That's good. Because this is where the real work begins. We've talked about the principles, the laws, and the mental frameworks. We've laid out the blueprint for the millionaire mind. But a blueprint is nothing without the bricks, the mortar, the sweat, and the unwavering will to build. This is the part of the journey where most people give up. They've consumed the information, they've felt the surge of inspiration, and then they've allowed the inertia of their old life to pull them back into the familiar, comfortable patterns of mediocrity. But you are different. You are still here because you are a seeker, not a spectator. You understand that this isn't about a single moment of inspiration, but a lifelong commitment to mastery. Mastery is the relentless pursuit of excellence in a chosen field. It is the unglamorous, often brutal process of deliberate practice. It's the artist who paints 1,000 canvases, the musician who practices 10,000 hours, the entrepreneur who launches and fails 5 different ventures before finding the one that sticks. Mastery is not an endpoint. It is a journey of continuous refinement, of chipping away at your weaknesses and sharpening your strengths. It is the understanding that true genius is not a birthright, but the direct result of focused, consistent effort. Think of Michael Jordan. We see the championships, the iconic shots, the global phenomenon, but what we don't see are the countless hours he spent alone in the gym, perfecting his craft, long after his teammates had gone home. We don't see the failures, the missed shots, the brutal self-criticism. His greatness wasn't a coincidence. It was a conscious, relentless pursuit of mastery. He had an obsessive dedication to his craft, a commitment to being the absolute best, not just on game day, but every single day. The millionaire mind operates on this same principle. It is not content with being good. It is obsessed with being great. And this pursuit of mastery is deeply intertwined with servitude. This is perhaps the most profound and counterintuitive principle of all. The millionaire mind is not focused on what it can get, but on what it can give. True wealth is not measured by the size of your bank account, but by the size of the problem you solve for the world. Every great fortune, every great legacy was built on the foundation of providing immense value to others. Andrew Carnegie didn't become the richest man in the world by hoarding resources. He did it by providing the steel that built the skyscrapers, the railroads, and the bridges of a burgeoning nation. Henry Ford didn't just build cars. He built a system that made them affordable for the average person, thereby revolutionizing society. These men were not just masters of their craft. They were masters of servitude. They had a definite purpose that was not centered on themselves, but on meeting a need in the world. So, ask yourself this question, not as a philosophical exercise, but as a practical guide. What problem do I want to solve? What pain do I want to alleviate? What value can I bring to the world that no one else can? The answer to that question is your roadmap to abundance. When your purpose shifts from self-interest to a deep desire to serve others, the universe conspires to support you. People, resources, and opportunities gravitate toward you because you are a force for good. You become an asset, not just to yourself, but to the entire world. And this is where true fulfillment lies, not in the acquisition of things, but in the profound satisfaction of knowing that your life has made a difference. The final and most powerful act of the millionaire mind is legacy. It is the conscious decision to build something that will outlast you, something that will continue to create value long after you are gone. Most people live for today. They chase fleeting pleasures, they pursue short-term gains, and they operate with the mindset of scarcity. But the millionaire mind operates with the mindset of eternity. It thinks in terms of decades, not days. It asks, what will I leave behind? What will my contribution be? What impact will my life have on the generations to come? Think of the legacy of Walt Disney. His life's work was not just about creating cartoons and theme parks. It was about creating a place of wonder, of imagination, of magic that would inspire people for generations. His legacy is not just the company he built. It is the feeling of awe and joy he instilled in millions of people around the world. He built something that transcended his own life. This is the ultimate goal, to not just live a successful life, but to live a significant one, a life that is measured not by how much you took, but by how much you gave, a life that leaves the world a better place than you found it. This is the true definition of a millionaire mind. It is a mind that is not just focused on personal gain, but on global impact. It is a mind that is not just chasing a fortune, but forging a legacy. So let's bring it all back home. We began with the question, are you a seeker or a spectator? The choice is not a one-time event. It is a daily decision. It is the decision to embody these principles, to live these habits, and to build a life of purpose, power, and profound contribution. The road will be long. The challenges will be great. The setbacks will be inevitable. But with every step you take, with every belief you cultivate, with every action you execute, you are not just building a fortune, you are building a new you, a better you, the you were always meant to be. The world is waiting for your genius. The world is waiting for your contribution. The world is waiting for you to stop watching and to start creating. The future is not a place you are going to. It is a place you are building, and the journey starts now. Now, go.